Hello everyone, this screencast is about Screencast-o-Matic, which is a little bit like being in Back to the Future or in a funhouse with the mirrors and stuff. So I'm actually going to spend a little time just talking to you about what Screencast-o-Matic does and how you could use it, and then showing you a few screenshots of it in use. And then this video is going to be a little shorter on my end, and in that dig deeper section of your TED Ed lesson, I have linked up a couple of tutorial videos that Screencast-o-Matic made because I can't record myself recording another screencast like they can with their additional software since they own the company. So in terms of what it does, it records whatever you're doing on your screen and your voice together, which kind of allows you to make a little video of either something you're doing online or whatever is appearing on your computer screen. An account is free, and you can make as many 15-minute screencasts as you like. You can use Screencast-o-Matic to upload your screencast directly to YouTube and flip them with TED Ed, or you can host them at Screencast-o-Matic also. Screencast-o-Matic embeds really easily in wikis, and I would assume blogs and other web tools. I've used them on my wiki for many years, and I just put the video right inside my wiki for students to watch. So I've been using this for quite some time. In the way of how you might use it, it could be to record directions about how to do something online. That should sound familiar since that's pretty much what this whole class is about. Or, interestingly for class especially, I have found that especially with big projects or things that I wanted to be sure the students could listen to my directions about, where I might ask them to write down some things on the paper, or we would talk about it in class and how to do it, but I couldn't guarantee that they had heard what I said, even if they just tuned out for a second, or especially if they were absent. I would make screencasts of the directions and just put together a little PowerPoint that kind of outlined the directions and talk the students through it. And that way, whether they were there or not, they could go and watch those directions to ensure that they were doing it correctly or that they were getting as many points as they possibly could. I had some real positive feedback from parents about this, that really helped them when they were trying to help their students with papers or the projects that were assigned sometimes. So I have used this for that purpose a number of times and found that to be successful. Here's a screenshot of what Screencast-o-Matic.com looks like right after you have clicked this Start Recording button right here. So when you first bring it up as a website, it won't have this dotted line box, and you click Start Recording. You can get an account on Screencast-o-Matic for free, and I would encourage you to do so. You can record screencasts without an account and then upload them to YouTube, but if you don't have a Screencast-o-Matic account, you can't save them and upload them to Screencast-o-Matic, which might be something that you'd like to do sometimes. So I would recommend getting an account. But once you click Start Recording, this box just pops up and you can reshape it to go around what it is you're wanting to record. For a while, this was having issues because of the Java updates and problems that Java was having earlier this year. That all seems to have been fixed, but if yours doesn't seem to want to work, if the box won't pop up with the little dotted lines, you might glance up near the top of your browser. Mine came up right here when it was an issue. Instead of this little globe, a little red Lego looking kind of thing would pop up, and it was telling me, oh, are you sure you want to use Java? And I would just have to click yes. So if that happens, kind of look for some website pop-ups or something that might be telling you that your Java is out of date. But if you have an updated version of Java, it should work just fine. So the box pops up and you can resize it. Down here you see the different options. This is the record button. This is where your sound is reflected so that you know if your microphone is working. Here's a way to test the microphone. This is the size of your screen that you're recording. This is for your webcam, and then this is to close out of the recorder. You can see in this screenshot I've resized it to be a smaller square, so you can just grab these little toggles here and resize this. And then it has options for you also that are typical sizes for embedding or for uploading HD video on YouTube. So you can utilize those as well if you don't just want to use the squares to resize it to your liking. Once you have a square drawn around the area of the screen you want to record, you're ready to go, remember that you want to go to whatever it is you're going to record before you draw the screen size. So if you are recording part of your internet window and a specific website, you would look at how the website looks and then draw the square around it. If you're recording how to do something, in a Word document, you could use the document to guide how big your square is. And that video that you'll watch where it is kind of live in moving this around will dictate that. But again, you'll change. Once you're ready to record whatever your size you've decided on, that's when you go to the web page that you're going to be recording or open up Word. That won't disappear depending on where you click back and forth. It just stays kind of on the top of your screen and it records whatever it is that's on the top of the screen. So that's kind of how that works. This is the microphone that I'm using, a picture of it, and this one has worked great for me. I got it at Walmart for about $8. That's been a year or so ago, but I think they probably still sell them. But certainly this microphone, this Logitech 600 microphone, is easy to buy online as well and inexpensive online. You can choose to use an external microphone if you need one, but absolutely you want to be sure that you first try out your microphone in your computer or your laptop and see if that will end up working just fine for you, especially if you have a newer laptop. Your microphone that is already inside the computer is probably perfectly fine for something like this, but I am using an external microphone and I just wanted to tell everybody what it was. You aren't required to make your own screencast that you put into YouTube and flip for the assignment for this class if you're doing it for 1 credit. But if you did want to give that a shot and needed to borrow a microphone, you can just let me know and I can make sure that there's one for you to borrow if you are just kind of testing it out before you buy your own. But again, that's not required. You can just flip a YouTube video to make your own lesson if you'd rather than make a screencast. But that's the microphone that I'm using. This is what you'll see when you are ready to record. Once you have drawn your square to be the size that you want, and I just kept it small so I could show you this example, you'll click the red record button and it will turn into this blue pause button, and then a red line will appear instead of those dotted lines. That means that it's getting started. It's going to be grayed out and count 3, 2, 1, and then it's recording. You can see that you are limited to 15 minutes here. I'll mention just briefly at this point, an account in Screencast-o-Matic, a paid pro account, costs $15 a year. If you decide that you can use this for a lot of purposes, that might really be worth it. It allows for you to make screencasts that are not just 15 minutes, but 30 minutes, an hour long if you really needed to. And then it also allows you to zoom in on different parts of the screen and draw on the screen while you're recording. And those are some options that might be really neat for your subject area depending on what you do. So certainly $15 isn't that much a year for you or your department or school to spring for. And you could even just get a school account where everybody uses the same account and it just costs the school $15 a year total. So if you're interested in that, when you're at screencast-o-matic.com, you can click Go Pro and just see what some of the options are in terms of what they offer for that $15 a year. But you're limited to 15 minutes here, and like I said, it's getting ready to start. So you can choose at any time to restart your video. You started, you don't like what you have, and so you just click Restart, and it'll ask you if you're sure. It'll clear out all the video it's recorded so far. But if you're recording your video and you screw up in the middle and you just need to go back a few seconds or 15 seconds to cover up that part and re-record the part that you messed up on, you just click pause or use Alt-P, and then once it's paused, it's going to show you a little play button right here. And again, this is frozen, so as you're recording, you'll see it growing red, 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 more red as it records, and when you click the pause, you see a little play button. You can play it and get to the point that you left off where you want to restart and click the record button again, and it'll ask you if you want to truncate your video a few seconds back or even a minute or 2 minutes back, and then record from the point that you're happy from and record over what you were unhappy with. So you don't have to continually redo the whole thing. You can change it, and that's just done by pushing pause, hitting the little green play button, and you can experiment with that a little bit to make sure that you understand how it works before you start making your video or screencast if you choose to. Once you're all done, I just want to show you these things, and then you'll watch the little 2-minute tutorial on Screencast-o-Matic. You have a few choices. So you finish your video and you click done, as you saw was an option there, and this is going to pop up. This is what I recorded when I made this video, just to make my screenshots. And so you can click play to watch your video through, make sure that you are happy with it, and then you have these 3 choices. In the case of using TED Ed, you want to publish it to YouTube, and when it does this, it's going to ask you to log on to your YouTube account, and you click on that, and then YouTube is going to ask you, oh, is it okay if Screencast-o-Matic connects to your account? And you can say yes to that. You can start your own YouTube account, or if you want to, talk to your building technologists. The district is in the process of going with Google for Google Apps for Education, and so we do all actually have YouTube accounts already that are associated with Google. But again, that's sort of in the works right now, and if you don't want to mess with that, you can just make your own account for right now. That would be easy enough, and something that you don't have to worry about connecting to your school right immediately. So when you click publish to YouTube, it has a few questions for you. You can also publish it to Screencast-o-Matic, or you can save it as a video file to your computer. I always do this as a backup, just in case something happens to it on YouTube or Screencast-o-Matic. That hasn't happened, but that way I have a hard copy, essentially, of the video saved on my hard drive. When you choose to publish it to YouTube, it asks for a title. You want to be sure that this is a useful title, because that's the thing that will translate into TED Ed, and that's how people would find your video if they were using YouTube to look for it. So you want to be sure that it doesn't just say my screencast. And then you do have to provide a description. It is specific to YouTube. I've, for example, used the description Tech Odyssey Class 2013 for all of the screencasts I've made. And you do need to keep your video public. You can change the category to education. There's lots to choose from, and I just choose education each time. And then you want to keep your video public, otherwise you won't be able to find it on TED Ed to flip. I will mention at this point too, once you have uploaded a screencast to YouTube that you're wanting to flip, you might have to wait overnight for it to appear in TED Ed. And I've been in contact with TED Ed about this, and again, they're doing their best to meet every need that comes up. But it takes a while for YouTube to process the video and put it up public to where it's searchable, and TED Ed relies on that searchability to find your video. So even if you're looking for the video by URL, which you can do, you might have to wait a little bit for it to show up. So if you're making one of these the night before, that might not be enough time. So do just keep that in mind. You want to make your screencast a few days ahead. Then once you scroll down, I couldn't do that since this isn't live, but you scroll down, you can see my YouTube account's already in here, so you'll connect yours to YouTube when you first do it. You can choose to show the mouse cursor. I've done that in most of the videos. You can show the mouse clicks, which kind of just highlights the click. And you can choose to show the mouse halo. I don't like this, but it'll put a little yellow circle around your mouse all the time, around your cursor, so that people can kind of follow it. It depends on what you feel is necessary and what you're doing with Screencast-o-Matic as to whether you choose those. Once you do that, you just click upload and it will put it on YouTube. It takes about 5 minutes, usually not more than that. And then it'll say, oh, it's uploaded to YouTube. You click this back, and then it'll go back to those 3 choices that you had to begin with. You can choose to publish it here or save it. Once you're all done, you've exhausted your choices here and you're happy with where you've saved it or put it, you click done with this recording, and that's going to delete it. It's going to delete the temporary file on your computer. So that said, like I said, I'm going to send you in the Dig Deeper section to a little tutorial that's live on how to use Screencast-o-Matic that's on their website. And hopefully this has been enough of an overview to where you feel like you could at least play with it and utilize it. Their help videos are useful, and you can try those out too, but think about how you might be able to use this tool in class to communicate better with students or record things so that you don't have to be repeating to students over and over how to do something.